Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, where we are having confessions and conversations about our everyday life and finances. Trying to get you guys straight. How you guys doing this morning? Did you have a great weekend? I hope you did. It has been busy. You're a little crooked there. I'm getting you together. Hold on. You're a little crooked, but that's okay. Thank you for joining the Fearless Morning Show. We are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life and finances. My name is Yamitra JoJo Waddell. I'm the only one out there. Your Live Past Crazy specialist. Let me add my fearless co-host here. This morning, Lynn. Hold on to his love. And I'm singing this morning. I don't know what about. Well, yeah, I do. I sing every morning. So good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
It's been a morning. How you doing this morning?
Girl, I see you got your silk press going on this
morning. Cause let me tell y'all something, and I'm trying to get y'all together because you look crooked. What I was doing, I was tired of doing my hair, and I was like, I've got to do something. And it was either this or I was gonna come in here with a buzz cut. So seeing that I could not cut all my hair off, I had to go get it done. So
okay,
that's where we at, but that's okay this morning.
Yes. Well, guys, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. I am so excited about the possibilities for our futures, and thank you for joining us for Fearless Morning Show. The quote of the day is simply this, and this is for the people who are here. 80% of success is showing up, and that's by Woody Allen. So, guys, thank you for showing up today.
To the man.
That 80% of your success being in the space, being in the room, being in the right mindset. Now that other 20%, which is a small piece of the puzzle, right, is now taking action. Didn't say it was an easy piece of the puzzle, but it's a small piece of the puzzle. Yes. You're in the place. And you are in disappointed place at disappointed time, doing disappointed thing for you and your family, for your communities, for your legacy. So yes, you are on it today. 80% of success is showing up. That's by Mr. Woody Allen. So I am excited about sharing with you all today. So I think if Miss JoJo, my co-host, doesn't have anything to add to that, I'll go right into our financial.
Good morning, Charlene. Good morning, Trenda.
Yes. So, guys, the financial confession and conversation this morning goes around a question that I receive oftentimes. So I don't know if you all know. Again, I'm Lynn Demis, America's #1 rebound coach and financial rebound coach. Let me say that, not relationship rebound, financial rebound. Even though when you start rebounding in your finances, you do rebound in your relationships and other areas, because money touches all areas of our lives, whether we want to admit it or not. There's something, some circumstance, some situation within our relationships, within our lives, that also ties back to your money, right? If you think about it and just be real about it for one moment. But what I wanted to share with you today is having this conversation of why you should be investing, right? Nathan and Isaac, all right.
Morning, y'all.
You guys, well, the conversation this morning, guys, is why you should be investing. And I don't care if you are working, if you're pulling in some type of income, you should be investing. So that's whether you are a teen, 20, 40, 50, 60 and above, you should be investing, guys. And why do I say that? The reason I say that is this. Oftentimes when people get a certain age, because they've heard about compounding interest, right? And if I start compounding early, then I could be a millionaire by this time, right? You've heard it. If I start investing $100 at an early age, let's say like 21, I could be a millionaire by the time I retire. What I want to say to you today is there are also opportunities. I don't care how old you are. If you're in your 40s, if you're in your 50s, if you're in your 60s, give yourself a 10-year time horizon, all right? give yourself a 10-year time horizon, and not just a 10-year time horizon, but also give yourself, be willing to commit to get the education, to develop the skill, guys. You can grow your wealth in 10 years. All right. You can build generational wealth within 10 years. So I'm talking about a long-term investing strategy, but you can also take those same skills that you learn about investing and also apply them to developing what we call a cash flow strategy for you and your family. So what does that mean? That means that you can start making money on a week-to-week or a month-to-month basis with your investing, right? So that you can now have cash flow coming into your household, as well as being able to invest in long-term opportunities. See, there's a lot of education that comes behind that, but there's opportunities to do that. You just have to be willing and dedicated to say, hey, I am going to get the education I need. And getting the education you need is just putting that one step out there in front of you, right? That's putting that one step in front of you. You haven't even moved, right, to bring the other step around yet. You just have that one step in front of you. So you really kind of still planted in the same place if you're just getting the education. In order to move to the true step, to complete that true first step, guys, is about implementation and acting on that information that you've now received, that education that you've now received. And why is it important? Why is it so important, guys, that we need to begin investing? I want to, good morning, Chica.
That's my, hey, mama.
I want to say, guys, the most important reason that you need to be considering investing and getting a true strategy behind your investment, guys, is because of inflation. We are good at putting our money into a savings account. We are good at putting our money into CDs. And those CDs are paying us between 1% up to 4% if you are lucky, right?
Right.
The inflation rate on average, guys, is between 3 to 4%. So that means if you're putting your money at least in something that has a 4% return, you will essentially in the future have the same amount of buying power, purchasing power that you have on today. So let me break that down just a little bit further, because some of y'all might need a little bit more information on that. So I want you to think, we're going to get in our DeLorean. Remember the DeLorean from Back to the Future?
Yeah.
We're going to get in our DeLorean and go back. Let's go back to 1992, all right? 1992, if you had $10,000 and you put it into a savings account, and that savings account was matching inflation, you would have to have, in 1997, you would have to have $11,721 to match that $10,000. In 2002, you would have to have $13,000. $13,187 is going to be able to purchase the same thing as $10,000. Or even in 2012, $16,513 would purchase the same thing as $10,000. All right? Did you catch that? If not, let me do it this way. Think about when your parents purchased their home, right? How much did it cost for them to purchase their home versus how much it costs you to purchase a comparable home today? Think of it in those terms. Now, that's a significant difference, guys. That's what I mean by inflation. The power of the purchasing power of our dollar is decreasing, essentially. And if you are not investing your monies, right, in some type of investment vehicle that's going to provide a return for you at a higher percentage rate, then you're getting less buying power for your buck. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
I hope you caught that, guys, because that's a game changer. Once you get that and understand it and recognize it, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. You mean to tell me I thought I was doing good by putting my money in the savings account? I thought I was doing good by putting my money in the CD. I thought I was doing good by putting my money in this bond, right? Yes, those are all safe investments. And I'm not saying don't do that at all, because those are the areas you need to place your emergency funds, right? Emergency funds, so you can get to those funds rather quickly. But what I'm talking about, guys, is how do you now build generational wealth so that that purchasing power of your dollar does not decrease, that it keeps up with inflation. See, that's what's important for us. And that's a key point that we need to be driving home, right? That's why you need to be doing it, because your dollar is going to purchase less in the future. So we at least have to keep up with inflation, right? Now, the thing about investing, that once you get the education you need, the thing about investing, guys, is it allows you now to not only be able to beat inflation, but now figure out, how am I going to build generational wealth so that when I retire, I don't retire in poverty, right? And oftentimes a lot of us can't retire because, and this is the thing, and my mom and I, we were having a conversation about this the other day, right? And someone asked her, you know, are you they have a bulletin board at work where they post all the retirees, someone who's going to be retiring, and they celebrate that person. And someone said to her, so you're going to be the next one up on that list? And my mom was like, no. She said, not at this point. I'm not retiring. Why? She's made a decision not to retire because she's continuing to invest, right? And she wants to be able to put that money away for a generational wealth. And the beauty of it is, the lady was saying, well, I want to retire so I can travel. And my mom was like, well, why are you not traveling now? Why are you waiting? Why are you putting it off? Why are you, life is today. Nothing else is guaranteed. Why are you now putting those things off until you retire? See, that's the message I want you to capture as well, guys. Because the beauty of this is you will also be able to do these things. You'll be able to do all the things that you want to do now, as opposed to waiting till you retire, right? So there's some different opportunities, different ways that we can now position ourselves once we learn and identify, okay, what are the things I need to be doing now? I can learn how to invest to build generational wealth, but I can also learn how to invest to build cash flow. So now if I choose not to go to this job, I do now know that I can invest to build cash flow, so that I have income coming in to be able to do the things that I want to do. See, that's the beauty of why we should be investing, guys. Investing gives us more opportunities, okay? It gives us more opportunities to be able to be financially independent. And that's the name of the game. And this, guys, and like I said, this is not simple. There's a lot of education that we are missing inside of our communities that's going to allow us to be able to do that. And that's one of the reasons it's my passion to make sure that I educate women on the strategies, on the steps that they need to be taking to ensure that they can now invest. Because there are so many myths out there that are around us, surrounding women. And you can even look at it, guys, even in the financial markets. What's the percentage of women who are represented on Wall Street, who are financial planners, right? What's the percent? The percentage of women is very low in comparison to the men. All right? So we have to figure out, guys, how to do this. And the beauty of it, guys, is when you learn how to invest for yourself, you don't have to depend on someone else to go in there and manage your money. Who cares about your money more than you?
Nobody.
Nobody, except maybe your children.
That's right.
Right? With the exception of your children, nobody else cares more about your money than you. So in getting the education you need, guys, learn how to manage your money so you don't have to depend upon this hedge fund manager. Yeah, you need a broker because you have to open up a brokerage account. And I hope you guys have opened up that Thinkorswim account that I shared with you, those paper money accounts, so you can go ahead and start practicing investing. See, when I train you about learning how to invest, guys, I want you to use that Thinkorswim paper money account. That's what I use in my classes. Okay, that's what I use in my classes to help you to understand what are the things you need to be looking into And how do you invest? How do you go about this? How do you go about identifying those wonderful businesses that you now need to be focusing on? How do you now find that wonderful business and find it on sale? Because that's the name of the game. See, guys, that's how the millionaires and the billionaires, this is how Warren Buffett does it. Let's just be real. Warren Buffett's philosophy is you buy $10 businesses for $5. Okay, so what does that mean, guys? We have to be able to identify those buying opportunities and buy things that we know, like, and love, right? I love Chipotle Grill. Let's just be real. I love Chipotle. But the stock price for Chipotle right now is not what we call on sale. It's almost on sale, but it's not on sale. And what I hate right now, guys, is I missed a buying opportunity. You remember when Chipotle had that salmonella scare?
Yeah.
And everybody was saying, don't go to Chipotle. Don't go to Chipotle. Everybody getting sick. People throwing up in the store, right? Guess what happened, y'all? The stock price dropped significantly. But Chipotle is a wonderful business. Why? Because even though that stock price dropped down to about $150 something, and I wasn't paying attention, I missed it a couple of years ago. I missed it. But that was my opportunity to buy Chipotle on sale. Chipotle is over that price point, and it's worth the shares. True story, shares of Chipotle are about $500 and something. I have to go to my spreadsheet to give you the exact numbers. I don't have my exact numbers in front of me, so I'm giving you rough estimates. But you can go to Yahoo Finance. You can go at any of these places and actually confirm that that's the purchase price and look at the fair market value. Go to the annual reports. So I'm throwing all these things out at you. Why, guys? Because that's how you identify whether or not a business is wonderful or not. You have to know what's the fair market value for that business. And why do I say we invest now? You need to be investing and having your cash ready for these wonderful businesses to go on sale. And why do I say that? Because if you continue to study, like I have, I've paid very close attention to this. I've studied the trends in the stock market and what's happening with our investing, right? And there's always opportunities. Whenever something goes up, it has to come down. And what has the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 been doing over these past few years? It's been going up, right? And it's getting to a point where it has also reached, getting close to, again, reaching all-time highs yet again. And it has to come down. See, that's why I have my stockpile ready for when stuff falls down. Not that I want these businesses to have hardships. I do not. But I do also recognize that those now buying opportunities. See, that's what I teach you in the class. How do you identify what are those key indicators that are going to tell you that this is now the right time to buy this? And then the other side of that is how do you come up with the cash? Right? While you're waiting on these wonderful opportunities, how do you now come up with the cash so that you'll be ready? See, guys, that's the greatest, when anytime there's a huge decline in the stock market or decline in the housing markets or decline in the tech markets, you name it, that is the greatest transition of wealth. Why? Because the masses get scared, because they see the prices going down. And what do? They do like Jim Cramer, sell, right? They start selling everything off. You need to position yourself so that you're now ready to start doing what? Buy, right? Because that's when you have the opportunity, guys, to now increase and build generational wealth. See, I hope that helped somebody this morning and that you caught that. And that's one of the main reasons that I teach women how to invest, because I get it. I've been there. I've done that. I was that person who used to get scared all the time about things. And I'll tell you, and I'm just going to be completely transparent. And this is a work in progress, because I went sometimes, what was it, back in January, I think it was the end of January, we had that huge decline in the stock market. And I went in and I looked at one of my stocks and I was like, oh, I lost $12,000 in one day. But then I had to come back to myself and I was like, wait, back up. look at the numbers, right? Look at exactly what happened. And if it has fallen, what was the opportunity? My opportunity was now I can buy more because now my wonderful business is even on sale even more. And the beauty of that is it has come down now, but what's going to happen? What has traditionally happened? It goes right back up. So you have to be able to recognize what are the tools I need to see, what are the indicators that tell me, guys, that this is now a wonderful buying opportunity. See, nobody taught us this in school. No one taught us this. And a lot of the things that we've picked up as far as our investing have been things that we've either seen or heard, or somebody else thought that it was a wonderful tip and thought they'd pass it on to us. And many times, some of us, we don't even have a clue because nobody even said, seen, heard, or thought, even talked to us about any of this stuff. So we don't have a clue as to what we should be investing in or how we should be investing, guys. So next month, I will be offering a course, and I'm going to do an all-day course. And I'm going to see how many people are ready and want to do it. I'm going to be doing it all day. How do I start investing course, right? I'm going to teach you how to find and identify what are those wonderful businesses and what are those things you need to be doing. How to set up your Thinkorswim accounts so that you can get in there and practice with paper money before you can get in there with the real money, right? Practice with some paper money first. I know it's not the same thing as putting your skin in the game, putting your real money in the game, but it at least gives you an idea to start recognizing the indicators and the things that you need to do. And I'm not saying that let me be truthful with you. I'm not saying that you are not going to lose money in the stock market, right? Because there are things that happen. Maybe you missed something in your research, or you didn't do enough of the research that I'm going to teach you to do. There are things that will happen. But if you develop the skill, guys, I guarantee that you can win more than you lose. And winning more than you lose increases your probability of success. All right? It's as simple as that. So, guys, I just wanted to say that's the financial confession and conversation this morning, guys. We need to be seriously figuring out how are we going to do things differently, having the mindset that you are going to commit to doing this, and just going ahead and making a promise to yourself that I will, right, learn to invest and grow my capital to whatever amount you want to grow it to. Maybe you want to have $1 million within 5 years, or maybe you want 5 million within 5 years, or some other goal, depending upon where you're starting. It doesn't matter. You can set those opportunities for yourself and make a promise to yourself that you're going to do it, right? Instead of have a plan. Have a plan to now reach that goal. So, guys, it's very important. I hope that you saw the value in that, because your dollar today is not going to be able to purchase the same thing that a dollar in the future is going to purchase. So how do you protect yourself against inflation is the number one thing. Not only protecting yourself against inflation, but beating inflation and building generational wealth. And not only building generational wealth, you can also build cash flow. Have you ever driven through a neighborhood and said to yourself, I wonder what in the world they are doing?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? I wonder what in the world they are doing. Chances are, guys, they are doing one of three things. They either own a business that is very profitable. The owner's earnings are significant, right? They're either investing in the stock market, or they own real estate that is cash flowing for them, right? Those are the three major ways. Not saying those are the only ways, but those are three major ways that people are making their money, keeping their money, and growing their money. Now, some of them, guys, let's just be real. They living in debt, and they just barely scraping by and trying to, like we say, keep up with the Joneses. But dare I say, we say something over and over and over. You hear something repeated over and over and over, but it doesn't really stick until you really hear it. So I hope that you're really hearing this today. If you don't hear it today. I shall continue to repeat it until you really and truly hear it. Guys, it's about us making our money, keeping our money, and growing our money. That's the name of the game. That's how you move to your next. All right? So that's my confession and conversation today about your finances. I'm Lynn Dimmons, America's #1 financial rebound coach, ladies. If you are ready to start your investing education, go over to my page and just look. Go to bit.ly/WWinvest. Go over there and look around and scroll down to the video and actually watch the video. It talks about what a stock is, what is the Thinkorswim account, and what are the things that you should be doing inside of that account to begin to think about investing. See, there's some foundational things that we need to have in place and some things you need to know before you come into the course, right? You have to know what a stock is coming into the course. But that video is over there for free for anyone to go and watch. And just let me know, for those of you who are interested, I will be sharing more information about an investing class that I'll be doing here in the Atlanta area next month. So keep your ears and eyes open for that as well. So that's it this morning for my financial confession and conversation. Thank you so much for joining, because remember, 80% of success is showing up. And you showed up today. Now is the time to take the next step, right? Take that next step. Do some homework. That's your homework. Yes, I'm your teacher. Your homework tonight is to go over to bit.ly/WWinvest. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and actually watch that video on stocks and investing. Set up your Thinkorswim paper account if you have not done so. You'll have 60 days, guys, to get in there and practice and start looking at some of these things. But what I teach you, you can do that on your own if you choose to. But what I teach you is, what does all of that stuff mean inside of there? Because there's a lot of information, right? The verbiage, the language. And it's just like when you go to a new job. Every new job has all of these acronyms that they use. And you're sitting there like, what is this ABC, XYZ stuff, right? That they have going on. It's the same thing in investing. Once you learn the language of investing, you'll be like, really? That's all they meant right there? Oh, that's an option, that's a put, that's a call. Oh, I didn't know that, right? So now once you understand the basics and have the education as to what those things mean, then you'll be like, oh, okay, that was a lot simpler than the way they made it seem. Right? All right, guys, that's my financial confession and conversation for this morning. So I'm passing it over to you, Ms. Co-host.
Good morning, guys. Those are some great tips that I think we have to. It kind of ties into my fearless thought of the day. So my fearless thought of the day is, don't be hesitant. Stop living small. A lot of us have the information that we need. And we're getting the information that we need, but we are being hesitant with making the next step. So when you look at this in terms of your life and living past crazy in your life, a lot of times we know what the environment that we are living in is crazy. We truly understand that. We know that, but we are still hesitant to make that next step because we are hoping against hope that something is going to change, when we know absolutely nothing is going to change unless you change. Y'all remember my quote, nothing's going to happen to somebody's waiting on you to do something before they can do it. So when you look at your life and you start thinking about those things, don't be hesitant to make the next change, to make the next right step. Stop thinking small, because I think a lot of us, when we are going through, our mentality is, I'm so overwhelmed by what I'm presented with right now. There's absolutely no way I can think anything any bigger. There's absolutely no way I can make another step. So I'm just going to sit right here. So then, I talked about this last week, then you're just going to shrink into yourself. You're going to stay in that environment and nothing is going to change. It's going to get worse. It will always get worse, or you will stay the same, and then you'll be more miserable and depressed and sad than what you were. you've got to learn to love living in the light of you, living in the newness of you. You know, we talked about the new you and the new us. You got to learn to love what the new you looks like. Because here's the thing, change is always challenging. Change is always scary. Change can be exciting, it can be wonderful, but if it's a drastic change, it can be overwhelming, it can be scary. Yes, Charlene, depression sets in. So don't be hesitant to make that step. So today you're on the fence about living past crazy in your life, and you know what that is. If you know that this is not a healthy environment for your children, it's not a healthy environment for you, and every day your mind is crazy or your finances are crazy because you are determined to stay there and stick it out. Because, and here's the thing, when we're talking about generations and leaving life legacies, are we living the same life our grandparents and our parents lived before, where it was you stay and you stick it out or you figure it out? Or was it because they may not have understood how to take the next step and they were hesitant to take that next step? And so when you're hesitant to take that next step, you are teaching your children and yourself and your mind to continue in the habit that's not beneficial for you. Does that make sense? So if you keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, you're going to get the exact same thing. It's not going to work. And here's the secret for everybody. And a lot of my girlfriends, and you see it on Facebook, and people say, well, I'm going to tell her about herself, and I'm going to cuss them out, and I'm going to tell them about themselves. Let me tell you what that accomplishes. Absolutely nothing. You don't feel better. If you're going to tell the person off, after you cuss them out, after you get them straight, after you tell them the truth, after you break it down for them so that they can understand how wrong they were, you don't feel better. You don't. You want to know why? Because the reaction that you expected from them when they don't give it to you, guess what you do? You go right back and do it again. And then you mad again. Go ahead, Lee. Was you going to say something?
Yeah, and I said that's so powerful and it's so true, guys. And this is the thing that I need you to catch. And that's being revengeful, right? Mm-hmm. Revenge is just like you taking poison and expecting the other person to die. And then when they don't die, what happens to you? That poison is now interacting within you. It's causing you to now be broken and busted and disgusted. And I'm sorry, JoJo, but I just thought that was it right there, guys. So don't take the poison yourself, guys. Revenge is not for us. Right? We're a different people. We're in a different mindset. We're in a different mode. Mm-hmm. Don't take the poison, right?
That's right.
And expect somebody else to die. All right, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I wonder, and it does, and you've got to, and here, I want to read this one sentence that I read last night, and I highlighted it this morning. One of the essential requirements for true spiritual growth and deep personal transformation is coming to peace with pain. Coming to peace with pain. Because when somebody hurts us, when we're angry and our feelings are hurt, it is painful for us because we're upset because they did that. But you've got to come to an understanding of that and understand how to move. You can address it and move past it. But when you come at them with the expectations that they should react, because how many of y'all done played this out in your mind? I'm about to cuss this girl out. And she gonna be like, what? I can't believe JoJo said that to me. And it doesn't happen that way. They look at you like, Ann, why you mad? And that's the thing. And now I'm mad again because you're not reacting the way I wanted you to. And when I tell you, when you get this, it's not my business, it's not my problem. When you get that, and it's hard as hell sometimes to separate that. From, especially when you love somebody, when it's your family, when it's your friend, and when they've really done you wrong, it's hard to separate that pain. And as Lynn said, revenge was trying to tell them about themselves. It's hard to separate that. But when you get to the point where you can separate the two, who has the power now? Because what you find is the person that makes the most noise, that the person that does the least in any relationship, whether it's in your relationship with your money, if you do the least with your money, if you're doing the least, if your husband is doing the least in a relationship, or your boyfriend, that has the power, not you. You may be a capable, able-bodied, but you have no power because you are fighting with something that you cannot win with. You're just not going to. Until you address the pain and move past it and come to peace with it, you're not going to. When I left my abuser, I was mad. I was angry. I was hurt, and I wanted him to do right by. I wanted the whole world to know how he done me wrong. And for a long time, I wouldn't tell my story because I wanted to feel that pain myself. And then I had to realize I had to separate it. Now I tell my story in the hopes of helping somebody else, not because I want them to be angry at Jamal. I don't want them to be angry at him. I want you to learn something from my story. And I had to forgive Jamal, which took years. I had to forgive him and to separate myself from that pain and become at peace with it. And then I can move on, because then it doesn't have any power. When you hold on to what somebody has done to you, when you hold on to the hurt, the resentment, the anger, the frustration, the not knowing, because here's the thing, we can see it as clear as day. Have you ever been with somebody and you can see them doing wrong, and you can see it as clear as day, and you can break it down to them like the paint on the wall? This is what you're doing wrong, and this is why. And they don't understand it, and it baffles your mind as to why they don't get it. That's not your business, and it's not your problem. Handle, stay in your lane, handle your business. Yes, we want to encourage our brothers and our sisters. We want to encourage our spouses, our friends. But at some point, you've got to take ownership for JoJo and your part in it. Are you enabling because you keep having that conversation? Are you partaking of it? Are you in the same situation with them because you keep arguing with them? So my rule is, in my house, I know I have a lot of rules and a lot of sayings, but they done got them down pat. Number one, find out what the problem is. Number two, check yourself. Number three, check yourself again, because at some point you may be the common denominator or you're part of the answer, period. So today, don't be hesitant. Stop living small. Learn to love the light that you're in. Yes, exactly, Mom. They feed off your misery. That's exact. And it gives them great joy. Then please understand, they're not upset. I want you to understand that. They're not angry. They're not upset. They're not mad. They are perfectly A-okay with what you're doing. Right. They don't have a problem with what you're doing because it's benefiting them. They don't. Here's the thing. They don't care if you cuss them out. You still gonna do. As nothing is changing. So you can cuss all you want to. You can yell. You can scream. You can point out everything. But until something changes, if you're hesitant with making the next step, nothing will change. Everything will continue. The cycle will continue. It will only get worse, and absolutely nothing will change. So don't be hesitant to make that next first step. Okay, stop living small. We only have a small mentality because we choose to. Our God did not give us a small mentality. He gave us dominion of heaven and over the earth, and we want to think small, thinking we can't even control how to walk through the next day. What is that about? Please, we are a lot stronger than we think. We're a lot smarter than we've ever known. It's just you're not putting that brain to use. Your brain, it wants to solve your problems. It wants to see you succeed. So please allow your brain to do that. Be quiet for today. Don't say nothing, and see what your mind comes up with for today to tell you how to solve your problem that you think you had. There's really not a problem at all. It's just waiting for you to stop being hesitant to make a decision. All right, that's all I have for the day, for the Fearless Thought of the day. Anything you'd like to add, Lynn, before we close out the show?
Guys, just remember, 80% of success is showing up. And how are you going to show up in your life today is the question. How are you going to show up in your finances? And what are the things that you're going to do to ensure that you're taking the next step, right? Yes, getting this education here is all great and fine because that's what we need to do. No one taught us, right, from the financial perspective, because I am America's #1 financial rebound coach. No one taught us those things about investing that we need to do. So we're giving you the education. Now you need to take the next step. Do the homework. So you remember what the homework is, guys. I gave you homework today. Go to bit.ly/WW Invest. Go down and look at that video about introducing you to investing in the stocks, because we're talking about how can we now invest. We're talking about long-term investing. We're also talking about investing for cash flow. But where do you start? You start with the education. Once you get the education, you take that step. So you take your first step with Thinkorswim, create a paper account, all right? Get that free 60-day account, get those free $100,000, and actually start practicing. It's scary at first. I know that. You're doing something different. You're doing something that's completely unbeknownst to us, because no one ever taught us. No one ever taught us. Guys, I'm here to teach you. I'm here to share with you, because it is a game changer.
That's right.
Once we do it, we hear about it all the time. We hear it. But until you really hear it,
yes.
And I'm sorry to repeat that, but I'm going to continue to do it. So I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. Not really. No, I'm not sorry. I am going to continue to repeat it until you hear it. Yes, you have to hear it.
Yeah. And apply it.
All right? Yes. You got to really hear it. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, the light bulb finally goes off. I've been saying, make your money, keep your money, grow your money for some years now. Some years, as JoJo said, right? I have been saying, make your money, keep your money, grow your money. But until you truly hear this thing, you're not going to make the necessary changes in your life. So go ahead and go over there, look at bit.ly/WW Invest. Look at the free video that's posted there, guys. And we're going to go ahead and start. Yes, ma'am, you got to hear it. It's got to stick. It's got to stick. And you'll be like, yeah, that's cliche. We hear that all the time. But are you doing it? Are you paying yourself first? You hear that all the time. Are you doing it? Dare I say no for the majority of us on this, because the statistics tell me that only 2 out of 10 people are investing in the way that they should be investing. And that's only in your retirement plan. I'm talking about outside of that, building true generational wealth. So you got to understand this, guys, and you got to hear it. Make your money, keep your money, grow your money, get the education you need so you can move to your next. Build generational wealth and cash flow. That's what I'm talking about. All right, that's it for my closing thoughts today. Don't forget, guys, go over to bit.ly/WW Invest.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining the Fearless Morning Show. We are here weekdays, 7:15. Please make sure that you share the video. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, we do have a YouTube channel, and I upload the videos every day. So I'm going to post the link here so that you can share it with your family and friends so they can get the information that they need. And remember today, don't be hesitant. Don't be hesitant to make the next step. Please do not. Stop thinking small and learn to love the light that you are in, because we only think small because we are allowing ourselves to think small, not because God put that in us to think small. You are limiting yourself because you want to limit yourself. Please understand that. There are no limits for what you can do, what you can have. You're far stronger, far smarter than you could ever imagine. You've got to make. So stop being hesitant. If you're ready to, if you know that you're living in crazy and you know the situation is not going to change today, don't be hesitant to do something about it. Stop living in crazy. That's your first step of living past crazy, is to make a step. Don't be hesitant. Don't second guess yourself. You know the answer, you know, but you just may not be ready to do something about it. And people would tell me, JoJo, all the time, what do you tell women who are in a domestic violence situation? I can tell them, I can talk until I'm blue in the face, but until they ready to do something about it, there's absolutely nothing I can do. Just like me, there was nothing anybody could tell me until I was ready to do something about it. I left and went back. They had an intervention. They tried to talk me through it until I was ready to do something about it. I didn't do anything about it. So when you get tired of it, you'll do something about it. So today, guys, please don't be hesitant to make the next step, okay? If you want some change, you've got to be, change is a challenge, and it may be a little bit of a struggle, but it'll be okay. Guess what? You won't die. You will survive. You survived this much. Y'all remember I talked about that a couple of weeks ago. You survived this. Why you survived so much? Why would you be calm now?
Right.
Why would you be calm now after you survived and been through everything that you've been through? Now is not the time to be calm. Strengthen your voice by speaking your truth. I said that February 28th of this year, okay? Strengthen your voice by speaking your truth. Handle your business, because you know you can handle it. You're choosing not to. And then, so don't get angry when people take advantage of what you're not willing to address. So let's close it out on that right there. All right, guys, join us tomorrow morning, 7:15, bright and early. Make sure you share the video. Tell us what you think about the show, and any questions or comments you have for us to go over. Make sure you share those as well. Have a great day. We'll see you bright and early in the morning.
Signing off.